Hey guys, what's up? It's Savannah. Welcome back to another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Thank you guys so much for joining me here today. If you're new here, hi, my name is Savannah and I am your host of My Thoughts Exactly. Before we get started, make sure you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here on the podcast every single Friday, as well as the video version. It goes on YouTube every single Friday. So make sure you are subscribed. That way you do not miss an episode. But with that being said, happy Friday, you guys. I hope you've had a great week. And if you haven't, guess what? It's Friday. We did it. It is the weekend. We have made it. I hope you guys have had a great week. And if not, I hope you are excited for the weekend. By the time you guys listen to this, I'm actually not going to be in Nashville. I am going to be on a bachelorette trip in Florida. I am very, very excited about it. I'm very much looking forward to it. But my week has been kind of surrounded and centered around getting prepared for this trip, especially today, which we are going to dive into because it does pertain to why we are talking about this today and this episode topic, as you can tell by the title. I'm very much looking forward to it. I cannot wait. It's going to be in Florida. It's for Hayden's sister, who's actually getting married later this year. I haven't been on a bachelorette trip since I went on my own sister's bachelorette trip when I was about 20 years old. So it's been a hot minute. So I'm very interested to see how it's going to all go down. Very anxious to be able to tell you guys how it went. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. Other than that, the only other highlight I had for this week is if you follow me on Instagram, you would know I got lost on Monday. I went on a walk, a little stroll, if you will, or it was supposed to be a stroll. What was supposed to be a stroll, you guys, turned into me quite literally feeling like I was on Survivor. I don't care. You can call me dramatic all you want. I was in the middle of the woods fighting for what felt like my life. And you know that whole saying of like, would you rather see a bear or a man in the woods? It just kept replaying over and over and over again. I had my little stun gun with me. You guys, I wish I had a GoPro attached to my head. You guys would have died at this footage. In the moment, it was very scary. I was honestly like, I don't know if I'm going to make it out of this. I don't know what I was thinking. There's this one trail in Nashville. It's basically like an abandoned airway, like what am I saying? Runway for airplanes. And I thought it would be really cool to go on this runway. And it's about 1.5 miles. And I was like, perfect. But then the 1.5 miles was over and I was like, I feel I'm a badass. I can do more than this. I was like, I got another mile in me. I go down this trail. Don't know where it's going to lead me. Have never been here before. I'm by myself. Don't know why I decided this was a good idea. I did it. I got lost. I called my dad. I called my friend who's been on the trail. I've called Hayden. Everyone's like, how the fuck did you get lost? And why are you on a trail by yourself? That didn't make my fear any less. It only amplified it. I was definitely afraid. I was definitely afraid. And it was so bizarre because it was like you would go down one trail. I don't know if I'm going the right way. Mind you, I ended up walking 6 miles in total. So what was supposed to be 1.5 turned out to be 6. And anytime you would go down one trail, there would be like 3 others. And you have to basically just guess to see which one is going to be the one that's going to lead you back to where you're supposed to be. Luckily, after about 1.5 hours, I figured it out. Maybe it was more like 2 hours actually. And I had no water. And we live in Nashville and it's humid and it's really, really hot. So that was very stupid of me. And I honestly think it made me feel very sick because I've been kind of under the weather the past few days. I don't know if you can tell by my voice, but I'm a little bit congested and my throat very much hurts. So if I sound a little off, I apologize. I blame the walk. I blame the hike. It was their fault. Anyways, you guys, that is not what we're here to talk about today. Although while I was walking, I was like, I can't wait to tell the podcast this because you guys you need to hear this. Anyways, not what we're here to talk about today. As you can tell by the title of today's episode, today we're going to have a little big sister chat. We're going to have a little chit chat. We're going to get vulnerable. We're going to talk about body image. We are in the summer now, and I don't know about you guys, but as the summer and the warm weather approaches, I'm constantly thinking in my mind all about body image. I don't want to. It's just where my mind goes. And I wanted to talk to you about it because I feel like if I'm feeling like this, there's no way that you guys aren't or one of you isn't. And honestly, if we can help one of you, my job, I feel like my work here is good. So I wanted to talk to you about it today. I also was really struggling today. I'm not going to lie. Today was a tough day for me. And it's going to sound very like shallow, I feel like when I say this, but it truthfully in the moment was very frustrating for me, and I haven't felt like this in a while. And it was, I went to the mall today to look for some stuff for this bachelorette party. You have different themes, like one night is red and one night is blue, and you would think we're at the 4th of July, but it's not what we're doing. It's bachelorette. And I was looking for different pieces, and I kid you not, you guys, I went to every store about twice, the same stores twice. And I was trying on all these different things, and I just hated how everything looked on me. And sometimes you have good shopping days and sometimes you have bad shopping days. Today was definitely a bad shopping day for me, and it really hindered my self-confidence. It really hindered how I was feeling about myself and how I was viewing myself. I was definitely very hard on myself, and I was very frustrated because it felt like all the work that I had been putting into, making myself healthy and choosing, making the right choices in regards to nutrition and fitness and really doing those things, it felt like none of it really mattered because I just was getting frustrated with how things were looking on me and just my body in general. And there's been a couple different instances that I've had over the past few weeks that have also given me that same feeling. A couple days ago, one of my friends here in Nashville, it was her birthday, and we did like a little poolside thing, and just the thought of being in a bathing suit was making me very anxious. And again, I feel like that just sounds very first world problems and very shallow, and maybe it does, but these are the things that I want to talk to you guys about because I know I'm not alone in it. The idea of being in a bathing suit around other people my age, like I'm someone who's always just covered, and it's not a modesty thing, it's an insecurity thing. As much as I would like to say that it's a modesty thing, it's really not. I just have always felt more comfortable covered, especially, when thinking about my body and just my insecurities. Like I don't want things shown, and it's not for the reason of like, I'm just trying to cover up and be modest. Like, no, I'm just insecure. Like that's where we're at. And I've been having a couple revelations lately because I've been really trying to think about it, because I do know, and I want to point it out, I know I just did air sculpt and we had a whole episode on that, and you guys might be like, Savannah, you literally just did like a cosmetic procedure. Like what the heck are you talking about? My arms, I'm actually really happy with where my arms are at right now. I will say that, like, I can see the progress that's being made. Obviously, like the results aren't fully there yet, but I do see where they're headed, and I am excited about it. But I just want to, it's mainly, I'm just talking about body image in general here. I have really been thinking about everything in regards to body image for the past couple weeks, because I think I'm hyper fixating on it a little bit because of the air sculpt thing. Like it really came to the forefront of my mind. And as if you remember from the air sculpt episode, I told you guys that if you have the means and the want to do something like cosmetically to yourself for yourself, then I think you should go for it, and I think you should do it. And so I stand by my decision to do air sculpt 100%, and I'm actually really excited for what we have going on in the future. We have some fun stuff coming up in regards to the podcast. So I'm excited for all of that. But just in terms of body image in general, when I, heard that I had to be in a bathing suit, for example, and be around people my age, and it's not like a family thing, it's more of like a social thing. People are going to be out and talking and mingling. I got super, super anxious about it because I don't like being like not covered. I don't know what the word is. Being it's exposed is not the word. I'm wearing a freaking bathing suit, but like, I think you guys know what I'm talking about. The idea of it gave me a lot of anxiety because I just feel a lot of insecurity. And I've been really trying to think deep down and hard about like where these thoughts stem from, where my insecurities stem from, and how I can really alter my perception and my perspective to not feel this way. I will say, in doing this, I think I've been a little bit realistic. I am a realist, as we know. I think there's a part of me that's always going to be self-conscious, even though I wish I wasn't, even though I wish that part didn't exist, even though I wish those thoughts weren't there. I think that it's very natural. And that's one thing that I've come to terms with. This is not just a me thing, and it's not just like a me and my friends thing. Everyone has insecurities. And that's been something that's been really important for me to understand that it's not just like everyone else likes what they look like and I don't. And that might seem like a no duh to a lot of people, but when you're so wrapped up in how you look and what you don't like about yourself, and you see this person on social media, they look amazing. You see this person out in public, they look amazing. It's easy to think that like you are the problem in a sense. But I'm here to remind you that that is not the case. Everyone has insecurities. Everyone has things that they're dealing with. Everyone has things that they wish didn't either exist on them, or they have parts of themselves that they wish that they could change. Everyone goes through those thoughts and feelings. And I think it's really, really important to remember that. And I think it's also important to understand that no one focuses on your body as much as you do. That was a big thing that I needed to realize when thinking about my own insecurities and body image. For example, I'm using the pool swimsuit example again. When I was out, I just didn't like it. Like I was like, oh, I don't want people looking at me. I don't want people, staring at me. I don't want anyone to like notice me. I want to be invisible. I wanted to be invisible. And there's a part of that makes me really sad, honestly. Like truthfully, a part of that really makes me upset because it's like, I shouldn't feel like that. I shouldn't feel like I don't want people to see me. I shouldn't feel like I want to be invisible to everyone else because I'm not comfortable with who I am. But I will say, once I got out there and I did it, because there was no choice, I had to do it as my friend's birthday. So I was like, okay, whatever, this is what we're just going to do. And it really taught me the fake it till you make it mentality, which I want to touch on and will in a minute. But in doing that and just getting out there, I realized, and we talk about this in regards to fitness a lot too, like when talking about the gym, I tell you guys about this all the time. No one really cares as much as you think that they do. That was very much apparent when I went out and was just doing my little thing and swimming and having the best time, you guys. Once I got out of my own head, I had the best time. I was swimming, doing somersaults in the water. I felt like I was 12 years old again because that mentality of like worry and fear and anxiousness, I just let it go. I put it away. I was like, this is not serving me. This is not doing me any good. Do we see everyone else that's out here? Everyone else is having a good time. Why am I going to diminish my own experience, diminish my own happiness because I feel like I'm like an eyesore for everyone else? And once I got rid of that mentality and really started the fake it till you make it, it helped tremendously. So that's one thing that I wanted to touch on because I think it's really easy to get so deep into your head and think like, I don't want anyone to see me. I don't want anyone looking at me. Oh, is this angle awkward? Is this unflattering? I don't like how this fits on me. I don't like how this wears. It was very important for me to really just push all of those like mantras, I guess, is that what they're called? Mantras, all of those sayings, all of those, the negative feedback that I was giving myself, push it on to the side, push it off to the side. Because here's what I noticed and here's what I realized, and it kind of took me a second. There's going to be a time, and it's going to happen for all of us. There's going to be a time where we're going to look back on our lives and we're going to think, I wish I didn't care. I wish I didn't care so much. When I'm 80 years old, am I going to look back when I'm 20 and be like, yeah, no, I needed to be I needed to be insecure. I definitely had a reason to be. I definitely had a reason to be insecure. I definitely had a reason to be self-conscious. I definitely had a reason to not live my best freaking life. No, I'm actually going to be mad at myself for doing that, for ever having those thoughts. So that mentality has also been something that's really helped me as well, because I'm like, there's going to be a time where I'm going to look back and I'm not going to give a shit what I look like. I'm just going to care about how I felt and the memories and the happiness. And that's something that's really, really helped me, because I'm like, just live. Like, stop worrying, stop being anxious, just live. And trust me, I know it's so much harder said than done. It really, really is. I get it. But the just live mentality and pushing everything off to the side and then moving into the fake it till you make it mentality, that is something that has helped me too, because it really does. Like with the fake it till you make it, I know Rihanna said it one time, and then it kind of like, it was like popular before that, but I feel like when Rihanna said it, like everyone really, narrowed in on it, because she was in an interview and someone asked her a question, and it was, what do you do on the days that you don't feel confident? And she said, I fake it. It's so true. It's so freaking true because over the past couple weeks and months, whatever, I've tried to implement that mentality a little bit more. And what I've noticed is that it works. Sadly, it works. There are times where I don't feel confident. There are times where I don't want to go out. There are times where I don't want to be seen. There are times where I don't want to wear a t-shirt or a tank top or shorts or whatever it is. And I fake it. And 5 minutes goes by of faking it. 10 minutes goes by an hour of me going by and faking it. I actually feel pretty good. I don't know what it is. I don't know what the psychology behind it is. I don't know what the mentality of it is. But the faking it till you make it method actually works. So big sister advice here, fake it till you make it. Because I guarantee you, everyone else is doing the same. When you think about how everyone else has their own insecurities, everyone else has got their own things to worry about. They're not worrying about how you look in that shirt. They're just not. Tell me this. Have you ever gone out to dinner or lunch or been out in public, literally just out in public, and looked at someone and been like, that's not for her. That doesn't look good. She should really change and really like get bothered by it? No, probably not. I would hope not, because if so, then like we got something else to figure out. But truthfully, there's never been a time in my life where I've looked at someone and been like, oh, I don't like this about them, or I don't like that about them, or that looks weird, or I don't like that shirt, or I don't like how that fits them. No, I'm too busy looking at myself and picking my own self apart. And so when I realized that no one else is really doing that for me, like everyone else is focusing on themselves, everyone else is focusing on their own insecurities. It really helped being like, okay, I don't feel as much under a microscope. Okay, I'm not bothering everyone else's existence because I'm wearing shorts outside. Like that really, really helped. So there was that part. And then you have the fake it till you make it. Both of those really helped me see that I don't need to be living in this bubble. And then you add the third one in there of reminding yourself that there's going to be a time where you look back and you're going to want to shake yourself and be like, what were you thinking? What were you thinking? You're beautiful. You're stunning. You're amazing. You're smart. Like all of the things. You're going to want to shake yourself for ever feeling the way that you are feeling in this moment. And I also, and this one, like when I started doing it, it made me really, really sad, but it actually helped. I know we have talked about this before, but it's the baby picture method. Having a picture of yourself as a baby, whether that's on your bathroom mirror or whether that's on your phone. It was Kendall Jenner that talked about this on a podcast, and she said that her therapist told her this. When you were saying mean things about yourself, you were saying mean things about that baby in the baby picture, you, at that time in your life. I started doing that. I shut up real quick. I shut up real quick. It was a lot harder for me to be mean to myself as a child, my inner child, because I would never want to hurt her. All I want to do is protect her. All I want to do is love her. And when you shift that mindset, loving yourself becomes a lot easier. And if anything, it just stops a lot of those negative thoughts, which is really important as well. I think that that's really, really crucial. I think that a lot of the insecurity does come from, loving yourself. There's a part of it, a part of it is the physical, in my opinion. I do think that a part of loving yourself is loving yourself entirely. We're all going to have things that we want to change about ourselves. We're all going to have things that we want to nitpick and pick apart, but it's all a part of the process of loving yourself as well, because I think that once you get there entirely, the little nitpicky things aren't as noticeable. It's not as important. And I know I've been throwing a lot of cliches at you, and you might be like, Savannah, like I hear this, like I hear it all the time. I see it all the time. Like, of course, like if it was that easy, like, of course. I'm going to throw another cliche at you. And that cliche is just that life's too freaking short. And that is something that I've been repeating to myself over and over again. Life's too short for me to care all the time about what I'm wearing, or if my, if this angle is awkward, or if I don't look good in a photo, or if I don't like, exactly how my outfit turned out. I'm not going to stress about it anymore. At least I'm going to try not to, because at the end of the day, this is kind of my perspective of it. I do what I can. I do my best when it comes to fitness and nutrition, and I try and eat as healthy as I can for the most part. I try and work out as much as I can. I work out about 4 to 5 times a week. And I actually saw this TikTok the other day that I found to be very interesting, and I wanted to talk to you guys about it because it reminded me of this episode, which is that I myself, I'm about 5'8", and I have more of I wouldn't even say muscular build, but I'm definitely curvier, and I'm strong. Like, I know I'm strong. I lift weights like 4 times a week. Like, I know I'm strong. My body type is never supposed to look like someone who's like a Victoria's Secret runway model. Let's use that example. My body type is never going to look like that. It doesn't matter how many weights I lift. It doesn't matter what exercise I do. It does not matter what I'm putting into my body composition, my body shape, my bone structure is not going to look like that. And I can try as much as I want for as long as I want. It's still not going to. And this TikTok was basically explaining that in different analogies. She used the analogy of a German Shepherd and a Chihuahua. She said that I'm a German Shepherd. I'm never going to look like a Chihuahua, and a Chihuahua is never going to look like me. Everyone has different body composition. Everyone has different body shapes. Everyone has different bone structure. Everyone is shaped differently. And that's a beautiful thing when you think about it. Like, it truly is a remarkable thing that all of us look so different but have so much beauty like within all of us. I'll get to that in a minute. But when she was saying this, I was like, I've never heard it like that before. And it really clicked with me, because I was like, there's been so many times throughout my entire life that I have wanted to look like someone else, but I could do anything I wanted. I still wouldn't look like them. Like, just because of my bone structure, just because of how I'm shaped, just because of my height, like, I'm not going to look a certain way, and that's okay. When she spelled it out like that, I really was like, wow, that's a great analogy to think about, because just because like a German Shepherd and a Chihuahua, both amazing breeds. I'm not going to say, okay, first of all, I don't love Chihuahuas, so maybe I should use a different small animal, small dog. I don't know, but you get it. Chihuahuas and German Shepherds, 2 different breeds, but 2 amazing breeds in and of themselves. So when you look at it that way, it's like, okay, 2 people hold so much beauty but can look so different. And I think that we've been taught that a lot over the past couple of years, but I think it's important to remember when we talk about body image too, because it's so easy to look at someone and be like, oh, I wish I had this, or I wish I had that. I wish I looked like you in this regard. I wish I looked like you in that regard. I think I've told you guys this before, but I have 2 sisters who are older than me, and they're both 5'5" and way skinnier than I am. And to me, growing up, I always felt like the black sheep of the family, because I was like, they look so good. Like, I wish I looked like them. Then I had a conversation with my sister, and she was like, it's so funny that you say that, because I wish I looked like you. She's like, there are certain things about you, like your figure or your like legs or whatever. Like, she was like, I wish that mine looked like yours. And I just had an aha moment, because I was like, wow, everyone really does struggle with their own insecurities. Everyone really does struggle with their own, battles going on in their head in regards to their body image. And because of that, it's easy to get caught up in our own minds. It's easy to get caught up in like, oh, I'm the only one feeling this way. Like I said in the beginning, it's easy to be like, no one else feels this way, only me. And like, I wish I looked like that. And then you have a conversation with someone like I did with my sister, and I was like, are you crazy? I was like, what are you talking about? And it really gave me a different perspective, because I grew to have a love and appreciation for what I did have, because I was like, this is what someone wants. Like, this is what someone desires to be, desires to look like, desires to have. That should be appreciated, and that should be loved, and that shouldn't be taken for granted. And I had a really, vulnerable conversation with Hayden about it as well, which was so eye-opening, because he was so supportive, which is all I could ever ask for in a partner. But he was so supportive and listening to me, and he reassures me all the time. Like, he's the biggest hype man cheerleader out there that there is. I love that man. But I was so kind of shocked by all of the little things that he was pointing out in me that I never noticed about myself. Like just little things about, I can't even, like my wrists, which I know sounds so silly, or like just the way my figure is, or certain little compliments that he gave where I was like, you notice those things? Like you like that? I've never even noticed those things about myself, but it gave me new things to like about myself. It gave me new things to love about myself. And now that I've started standing in the mirror and looking at myself, which is something that I've kind of been forcing myself to do, standing in the mirror, looking at myself and pointing out 3 things that I like about myself. It's harder than you think. And it's scary. It is. But it's something that I've been doing, and it's been giving me more reassurance and self-love because I'm treating my body like something that should be cherished rather than something that should be torn down. Because if I am tearing myself down, like I am my own biggest advocate. I have to live in this body every day. I have to wake up in this body and go to sleep in this body. If I'm not giving it everything that it needs, not only physically, but like mentally, love, support, like admiration, what am I doing? You know, I owe it to myself. I owe it to myself to love myself enough to say at least 3 things that I like about myself, that I love about myself. And I really challenge you guys to do the same because it really shifted my mindset and my perspective. And it gave me a whole new kind of list of things that I liked, and it gave me a different level of confidence that I didn't have prior to doing this. So I challenge you to also kind of partake in that challenge if that's something that you're interested in or something that you want to kind of push yourself to do, because again, it's not easy. It's not easy to like stare at yourself in the mirror and be like, I like this, I like that, because naturally our minds want to go to picking us apart. And by us, I mean ourselves. Like we want to go to be like, oh, I don't like this, or this looks weird, or why do I have that? Or I want to get rid of that, or I want to change that. But instead, shifting your perspective to be like, actually, I love this about myself. This is one of my favorite parts about myself. This is something I really like about myself. It not only, again, guides you to more of a path of self-love and confidence, but you're going to start looking for the good in yourself instead of looking for the bad. It'll be easy, like I said, to sit there and be like, oh no, I want to get rid of this, 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 and that. But instead, shifting your perspective and your mindset is really going to help you long term. It's going to help with the end goal of it all. So I definitely recommend trying out that. That's something that I forget. I believe it was Megan Trainor. Honestly, which is so random, but I think it was her that actually gave me that idea in a podcast that she did. It was something to that effect. And I can definitely say that it has also helped for me. So it's been something that I've been really, I go in and out of it. I think I actually even told you guys about it a couple months ago. It's something that I would like to practice like every once in a while, especially when I get into these ruts of just feeling very insecure, feeling very self-conscious. So that is something that I wanted to kind of point out as well and just kind of remind you guys of. It's always a very good practice and just something that can never hurt. It's not going to be something that is ever going to do you any wrong. So I wanted to point that out. And all in all, you guys, I really just wanted to kind of I know I'm like, my thoughts are all over the place in this episode and I'm kind of just going on a bunch of little tangents, but that's just kind of how these big sister chats usually go with us on these episodes. I wanted to be here to remind you that, and this is going to sound like so like cliche and like tacky and sappy and whatever, but I do want to be the one to remind you if you haven't heard it, because I know that I'm telling you that I have a great support system and I have that reassurance, and there's going to be some of you out there that don't feel like you have that. And if you don't, let me be the one to sit here and remind you. Let me be the one to sit here and give you that reassurance that you are beautiful, that you are amazing, that you have so many beautiful, amazing qualities beyond just your physical. But if we're just going to focus on that because we're talking on body image today, you're stunning, beautiful, amazing. What other adjectives can we use? Spectacular, gorgeous. What else is there? I'm trying to think of all the good words, but all of those words, you deserve to love yourself. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to feel confident. You deserve to feel good in the skin that you're in. You don't deserve to tear yourself down. You deserve to feel that self-love. You deserve to feel that happiness when you put on a new outfit or when you look in the mirror. You deserve to be able to look at yourself and feel happy and be proud of how far you've come and who you are. Every single thing about you is perfect and beautiful. And if there's something that you want to change, if you feel like you want to, get more into fitness or better into nutrition, do that too, but do it for you. Do it for yourself. I know it's so easy out there. There's so many medications out there, so many different things that are probably easy to grab. I know it's so freaking easy to grab here in Nashville. They're selling Ozempic like candy here in Nashville, and no shade to anyone who does it, but I think that we are in this era of seeing a certain type of body from certain medications, and it kind of can trigger sometimes this feeling this need to hop on the train because everyone else is doing it or because you don't feel good about yourself. If it's something you want to do it for you. Do it for yourself. Do it for you. If you feel like it's going to make you feel more confident and better about yourself, then that's fine. But just know that you're beautiful before it too. Just know that you're stunning before it too. You deserve to feel loved. You deserve to feel reassured. You deserve to feel all of the good things when you look at yourself in the mirror. And I know it's hard because we want to tear ourselves down, but I really challenge you that instead of doing that, point out the things you love about yourself. Point out your favorite qualities that you have, because that's what you should be focusing on. That's what you should be highlighting. It's harder to do it, but it's more beneficial in the long run, like I keep saying. But I want to be your hype girl. I want to be your hype woman. I'm here to be your big sister, and I'm here to tell you that you are beautiful and stunning, and you don't need to be sitting here worrying about how you look and how you dress and what other people are thinking. Let other people focus on themselves. They already are, okay? They already are worried about themselves. Let them keep worrying. So that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today. I just think it's really, really important with the summer months coming around. Now that we're in it, it's hot outside. We're going to be worrying. We're going to be more insecure. I want to get ahead of that before it starts. I want to talk to you guys about it before we're too deep in it. I want to remind you guys how amazing you are. I want to remind you guys how beautiful you are and how stunning you are, and how you don't need to feel the insecurities that sometimes creep up. And you have the angel on your shoulder sometimes, and you have the devil on your shoulder sometimes. Let's just knock the devil off. Knock the devil off. I know some days are going to be bad. Some days are going to be worse than others, but just reminding ourselves that we deserve to feel good, like who we are, our body image. We don't need to have these insecurities. Again, I know it's easier said than done, but that is what I wanted to talk to you guys about today, because I just think it's really important, and loving yourself is really important. And I'm sorry for the rant. I feel like I went on a million different tangents in this episode, but I hope you stuck with me, and I hope you get the general underlying message of it all, which is, at the end of the day, all I want for all of us is to just love ourselves a little bit more and be confident in who we are, because we all deserve that at the end of the day. So with that being said, you guys, that's going to be all for me today. Thank you so much for tuning into another episode of My Thoughts Exactly. Again, if you're new here, hi, my name is Savannah, and I'm your host. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. That way you never miss an episode. We post weekly here every single Friday. You're not going to want to miss it. I'll be back next week with a brand new one for you guys, and I'll see you there. Bye, guys.